right, we are back, and it's another day dedicated to hanging up cabinets, of course. Today I'm going to be working on the beverage center and getting all those cabinets in place. And we had an exciting delivery today. Our built-in mini fridge showed up, and so now we'll be able to add that and the ice maker, get those set in place, and that'll give us the exact dimensions that we need for our lower cabinet setup. So looking forward to unboxing that here in just a bit and getting that set in place so we know exactly where everything needs to go. When I finished up the other day, I went ahead and put up the ledger board, had a laser level set up, and everything in place, ready to go. I'm going to begin unboxing our upper cabinets, taking the doors and shelves and stuff off of them, and then going ahead and getting them situated together, get them all screwed together through the face, and then lift those bad boys into place and get them screwed to the wall. So let me show you exactly what we're dealing with here. All right, so here's the wall where the beverage center cabinets are going to go. And last time we finished up by installing this cased opening and getting this side of the door opening cased. I left the other side uncased. We've got some work to do in there before we get ready to put that casing up. We're still working on the flooring and everything there. So left that off for now, but that allowed me to go ahead and get measurements on this wall to figure out where dead center is. And that way I could go ahead and get the ledger board up, mark center on that, and get everything situated here to put our uppers up. I've got our laser level attached to the post here, and so it's ready to rock. As I mentioned, exciting delivery today. We got our Edge Star built-in beverage cooler. The big box store dropped that off here just a few minutes ago, so I was really excited to get that. Somewhere around here is our ice machine. It's in one of these boxes around here, so I'm gonna have to track that down, and that way we can go ahead and get it unboxed as well and begin to get everything situated for the lower cabinets as soon as I knock out these uppers. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the lowers or uppers unboxed here. I'm gonna have to move all my tools off of them first, and then I'll get those together and get ready to put them up on the wall. All right, I got our wall cabinets all screwed together, and if you're wondering why the center one's painted and the other two aren't, that's because the center one's got a glass door, and it's gonna have a light in the top of it, so Amber will have some glass shelves, have some display there, and then on either side we'll have just a standard cabinet, and that'll give us a place to have more storage and that sort of thing for the beverage center. So I've got it all screwed together, everything's ready to rock there, and I've got our ledger board up here. I'm going to go ahead and turn the laser back on, double check all my measurements, and then slide it up on the wall and put some screws in it, double check everything, and then make sure it's all leveled and plumb, and shim and final screw it. So here we go. All right, here we go. 3 cabinets, pretty heavy. So you may hear a little grunting. See if I can't get this thing lifted up on here though. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Oh yeah. All right. Ideally you want to hang cabinets with a friend. Sometimes we don't have that option, and you just have to make do with just have to make do on your own, and do the best you can. That looks really good. All right, now I gotta hike myself up there without dropping the cabinet. So if I drop these, might as well not even go home. Amber's gonna kill me. So you're not gonna believe this, but once I got the laser mark centered on the bottom of the cabinet, I made some markings there. It was actually within a 1/16 on both sides here. I was trying to line it up with the trim to make sure that our trim is nice and even on both sides. So it was actually within a 1/16, so I didn't move it. Nobody will ever be able to put a ruler on there and say, hey man, it's a 32nd more on this side. So at any rate, it's looking really good. So I got screws all the way across the top. I need to bring the bottom out just a little bit to get it plumb. And then, so I'll put a couple of shims there and then run some screws across the bottom as well. But I'll have to remove the ledger board to do that. So that's looking fantastic. Gonna take a quick break for lunch, and then I'll be back to unbox our refrigerator, ice machine, and everything else, get all that stuff lined up here in the lower section of cabinets. That way we can go ahead and get those installed. Should be good to go. All right, so the upper cabinets are looking really good now. Got screws up and down, got everything shimmed out down below to make sure everything's all plumb and level. And we just got the end panels put on. Love those things, gives it such a nice finished look. Another great design decision by Amber. But they really look great, even compared to just a, you know, plain painted panel. Just having that raised detail on the side really makes it look classy. Especially once we get our doors back on there, and a glass door in the center and a little light there. It's gonna look really nice. Great work, hon.
Well, thank you.
What's next?
The bottom.
Yeah, so we gotta get our fridge and our little ice maker in there. Get everything spaced out. And then we've got a couple of spacer style.
Yeah, these are crazy.
I hesitate to call them cabinets. They're boxes, basically.
Yeah, they are. They're like cabinet blocks. So it'll go like this, sort of, and we'll have the refrigerator and then ice maker, and then this in the middle.
And that middle one is actually a little cabinet.
It is. It's pretty unfunctional, but I might be able to fit a couple little things in there.
But it's so cute.
Cookie tray, something like that.
All right, sounds good. Can't wait to get them in there. Not sure how long I'm going to attach them, but looking forward to getting them in there.
We'll figure it out.
Okay. All right, so we got our tiny base cabinet and our two end panels set out here.
They're so cute.
So cute.
Little baby cabinets.
So ice machine goes here. You can see the water hookup and the electric.
Yeah.
Conspicuously missing from the picture is the drain connection. So we got to get our plumber back out here to add that. And then this is the cavity for the refrigerator. Got electric hookup there. So we're going to go ahead and get these spaced out. What I'm going to have to do is anchor them at the top. There's a stud, thankfully, behind each one of those. And then hopefully there's something behind that one. I haven't checked it yet. And then down at the bottom, I'm going to have to make an outline on the floor. And then put a cleat this wide on the floor, screw it to the floor, slip the cabinet over top of it, and then screw that, well, I call it a cabinet, slip that end piece over the cleat and then screw that together. Sound like a plan?
Sounds easy peasy.
Yeah, shouldn't be any problem at all.
An hour?
20 minutes.
Yeah.
Famous one line there, huh? All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get this knocked out. All right, so we got everything measured out and we know exactly where all these cabinets need to sit, and just got done cutting the first cleat here. This is just a piece of 1x3 that I cut to length and then ripped down on the table saw, and that's gonna fit nicely in between these pieces of plywood on these boxes. So that'll get screwed to the floor, then the box slips down over top of it, and then it gets screwed into place into that wood, and then we'll also have one in the top that will screw into that stud there. So that should take care of it. What do you think, hon?
I think it looks good.
Thanks.
Good job.
Thanks. All right, we're gonna go ahead and slip this one on and see how the fit looks. Okay, we got the first end panel screwed in. And I went in through the top with a big old 4-inch construction screw. One of these bad boys, these GRK 5/16 by 4 inches. Needed some extra length to get in there. Since we got one screw holding the top, I wanted it good and tight. Plenty of grab with those construction screws. And then you can see down here at the bottom, this is where we screwed into the cleat. I just used countersunk screws and ran those in, and then do the same thing on the other side. So we got 8 screws into the cleat on the bottom. There's no real wiggle, and it feels good and solid. So I think we're gonna be fine there. Next step is to mount this one next to it. This one that actually has a little cubby in it. This one's a little bit more challenging. The contractor used this part of the wall for a chase. So there's several drain lines in there. And there's actually not a stud right here where I need to anchor this one. So I think what I'm gonna do is use a cleat across the bottom, just like I did last time. I think I'm gonna use a scrap of hardwood floors to do that. That red oak will be good and tough for that. And then on the top, I think I'll probably use a 1x across the top to bridge the gap in between these two. And I'll just screw through the plywood into the 1x, and that'll stabilize the top there. And then I can do the same on the next one over. And that should give us enough stability there that this thing shouldn't flop around any. Plus, once we get the countertop and everything on top of it, it's not going to go anywhere. Not really concerned about it, but want it to be as rigid as possible in case anything ever falls into it or somebody staggers into it or whatever. Want to make sure that we're in good shape. So I'm going to go ahead and work on this middle cabinet and we'll go from there. All right, so I got the cleat cut and ripped down on the table saw, and now I got it drilled out with countersunk holes and then screwed down to the 3/4 inch hardwood floor and the subfloor below with some of these 2-inch screws. They're subfloor screws with a square drive. They work great. So I just drove those in and got a real nice tight fit there with that cleat. Now the cabinet will just slip right down over top of it. You can see the recess there, and then just like the other one, once I got it down over top of it, I will screw it in from both sides there, and that'll really strengthen it up significantly. I mean, that's really going to hold it nice and tight. I think I will go ahead and put a cross brace across these two just to stiffen it up a little bit more, since I can't put a screw through the wall there to hold it. So let me go ahead and get this set in place, and we'll get it screwed down and go from there. All right, good. We got our little middle base cabinet attached now, and just like last time, I ran 4 screws through each side into the cleat that's screwed to the floor, and then this one I did a cross brace between the first cabinet and the second cabinet. Again, reason being is that I didn't have a stud or any blocking behind this cabinet that I could screw into, so really the best option was to go ahead and put a brace in between the two of them. And so I just used my countersink bit and ran some of those 2-inch construction screws through a piece of 1x. And that'll still give me plenty of clearance on top of the ice machine, so it doesn't interfere with the installation of the machine there. And then that's going to really stiffen things up for us nicely. No sway whatsoever in this cabinet now. So now I've got to do the last end piece here. So I'm going to go ahead and get my layout done. Make a cleat for it out of 1x again, just like last time. I'll rip that down out of some 1x, and then we'll get that one mounted to the wall. There should be a stud behind this one. I believe the light switch is mounted to it, so I think I'm in good shape there. I'll be able to go ahead and get that one screwed to the wall and to the floor. No real need to do a cross brace over here. This one feels so nice and solid at this point. I don't really see any reason to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and work on getting this next one in. Okay, I got the other end panel on. Again, I ran one of those big 4-inch long 5/16 construction screws in through that one. Found a stud back there and cinched it down nice and tight. And then I've got cabinet screws going through on this side, and then some countersunk 2-inch construction screws going into the cleat on this side. These screws will get covered up by our decorative panels that go on the ends of the cabinets. So you won't see those screw heads, but I had to use the countersink obviously, or else it would keep the panel from seating all the way. So we'll get those panels applied tomorrow. Last thing I'm going to do is just clean up everything, get all the sawdust and all the tools and everything picked up, and then I'm going to slide our appliances in just so I can take a look at everything and kind of get a finished look. Hopefully we'll get our cabinet templater back within the next week or so once we have the rest of our appliances in, and that way we can go ahead and get all of our appliances hooked up and then get the countertops and everything installed, and this will be a functioning kitchen. Of course, we still have to do the island, but we're going to wait until we can get some of this junk out of here. All this stuff is really just empty boxes. Our boys have been begging us to build a box for it, so they have a ton of boxes that they can use to build a box for it, so we're hoping to get them down here within the next few days and let them go wild. A couple rolls of tape and just make a huge fort upstairs. All right, so I got the refrigerator and the ice machine slid into place there. They fit perfectly. I'm just so pleased. Everything looks really, really good. Can't wait to get this baby plugged in. It's gonna be nice to have a refrigerator here now, keep drinks and stuff in here for us and the kids. When we're down here working, or the kids are down here playing, we'll be able to stay refreshed. We still gotta get the drain line hooked up for the ice maker, so we won't be able to turn it on anytime soon. But it's pretty much ready to go. Now that we've got these in, we'll be able to get our countertops templated. Be able to go ahead and get those installed. But let's stand back and take a look here. I tell you, once we get that crown wrapped around there, get those raised panels on both sides, This thing's going to be looking very, very nice. All right, so that's going to wrap things up for tonight. It is late. It's almost 11 o'clock. We've been killing it, I tell you, because we're getting close and we can see it and we can feel it and we're just fired up. And we are working ourselves to the nub trying to get this thing knocked out. But I think we're probably 4 to 6 weeks away from being able to move in. So we are just trying to power through down here every day and working late and everything else, trying to take advantage of these days and get some stuff knocked out. So real pleased with our progress today. Be back down tomorrow. Going to tackle the master bathroom, I think. Going to work on the vanity and everything up there. And then last, after we get all these boxes and everything out of the kitchen, then we'll go ahead and start unboxing and installing our island. Cannot wait to see that thing going in. So see you guys back tomorrow.